You have written an article, 5 sleepers in the 2024 draft. We'll run through them, then we can talk a little bit about them. Malik Washington, wide receiver from Virginia. Jalen Corker, wide receiver, Holy Cross. Muhammad Kamara, edge rusher, Colorado State. Tip Ryman, tight end from Illinois. And Kristen Boyd, defensive lineman, Northern Iowa. Who of those, who do you like?
You got to dig deep for some of these, right? So, yeah, I mean, what makes a sleeper, right? That same thing we were talking about with value in the later rounds, right? They're smaller than the average person at that position, or they are in between, or they played at a small school, and that's kind of what this list derives from. My favorite guy on the list is Malik Washington. So. I love his game. He's 5'8". That's going to scare some teams off, but man, the guy can run routes. He's so sudden, so quick. I think he would be, when you're building that diverse wide receiver room where you want guys that can all do different stuff, they don't have anybody like Malik Washington, and he can be a real threat. So I like him a lot. Coker is a bigger kid. He's a powerful receiver. He played at Holy Cross, so there's going to be your questions about competition. Tip Roman, I don't. Either way, he played at Illinois, but he is a huge kid. I mean, we're talking 6'5", 271. Really good blocker, and surprisingly smooth in his route running. Right, in the short to intermediate. So maybe that's a late round option at tight end because he can block really well and be kind of a security blanket at tight end for you, with the potential to even be more. Massive man. So that is a potential too. I like him as a potential option for them at tight end, as we were talking about before. The other guy I would mention is Boyd from the last guy, Northern Iowa, who is 6'4", 317, but if you're talking about not a huge fan of taking defensive tackles, as I've talked about before on your show, Dave, but here's a guy with a lot of explosion. Reminds me a little bit of Michael Hall, like Michael Hall light maybe, and he's bigger than Hall, but just as explosive as getting upfield. And once again, the question is level of competition. Huge snub from the. Played great at the Senior Bowl and was snubbed from the Combine. So, interesting.